Hey y'all, it's your girl Pound Cake, and I'm currently in my car in the parking lot of the Bryson Tiller concert. As I mentioned, I want to do a video kind of just like just acknowledging where you are and where you come from, and being happy where you are in your growth as well. And I thought I would do like a little sit down video, and I'm waiting in the car right now for my shirt to dry. I spilled ketchup and I cleaned it up, so I'm waiting for that hole to dry, y'all, for real. It's so urban. But aside from that, I decided, why not have our chat here and just do it in the car, impromptu, real organic, and not like in no station space like I try to be. But so if you want to hear about my growth and just where I am right now and just how I feel about it, keep on watching. So, hey guys, so as I mentioned, I wanted to just talk about where I am now, how far I've came, and just like my growth altogether. And just want to kind of not toot my own horn, but toot my own horn. You know what I mean? Like, I've come from a low place. And when I say low place, this is not just going to be about like finance or just, you know, anything in particular. I'm going to just talk about just everything, like all encompassing of where I am today and just how I feel about it, and just me, you know, just being happy of where I am, because like I said, I've come from a long way. Now, I wasn't like no drug addict, I wasn't like homeless or any of that, but you know, as an early adult, I was like pretty much like immature. And when I say immature, like I wasn't as responsible as I am now. Like, I've always been responsible, but just growing up like in a single parent household, just learning to, or not learning, but just seeing, like, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul, living check to check, making payment arrangements, doing this, doing that, putting stuff on layaway. And that's like no knock to like my childhood and just me growing up or anything like that, but that's like what I knew, right? So I kind of adopted those traits, you know, as I became an adult. And even sometimes today I find myself doing things as well like that, and I'll explain what I mean by that. But just not having enough money, but stretching it, getting payday loans, you know, just whatever I have to do. And payday loans are a trap. If you don't know, those are a trap. If you're in California, the most you can borrow in California at a location is like $255, but you pay them $300 back. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So it low-key becomes a $50 bill, because constantly, or $45, but constantly, you're the first time you do it, oh, you're up, right? But then when you got to pay it back, you almost have to get it right back out, or take it right back out, because you aren't making enough money. Like, the money is not there. And there's times I've worked like 2 and 3 jobs, and I just still felt like, you know, I didn't have the necessary tools to succeed, or to even, you know how to be responsible, or know what to do to be responsible. So as I've gotten older, I've kind of like learned my way to do so, to a point I'm actually helping my mom work on her stuff, so she can get where she has to get, so she can get out of that as well. But I say that to say, like, I've come from a far place to be able to like have my bills on auto pay. Like, I don't pay my bills, they pay themselves, because I have the funds now, right? And I'm not saying it because I'm like balling or nothing like that, but as I've gotten older, I learned to be responsible. Like, I've learned to make good choices and realize that I have the money. I need to be responsible with the money. Take care of my priorities first. You know, just make sure I'm making the right decisions, making sure that I'm just sound financially. And the thing was, I wasn't that, and I'd never had that. So I had to teach that to myself, or seek knowledge for that. You know what I mean? So as I've gotten older, I've just, kind of adopted those practices where I make sure my bills are paid. I don't play that. I'm always on time with my payments. Like, before, I was like grace period queen. And even though I had the money at the time, I put other things before my responsibility. Especially when I got my car. I was financing a car back in the day. Y'all, I would like wait the 10 days, not have it. And my car note was like stupid low, like $200. You know what I mean? And I'd rather do something else with the money, because I'm like, oh, I'll get it again. Or I'll give it to them when I feel like giving it to them. And, you know, just like, it's so like, I've had a repo before. Like, they came and got my shit just from me being immature or spending money on things I shouldn't have spent money on, and then when it's time for the serious responsible things, I don't have it. So now I'm sitting here parking my car around the corner because I'm like, they're not gonna come get my shit, not with me, not on my time. Like, who wants to live like that? Like, there was times like, y'all, I wouldn't have my tags up to date. Like, literally my shit would be 2 years old. I didn't have no insurance, license was suspended. Like, I was living life on the edge, but I was outside still driving. And back then I was like hanging out and partying, so of course I was under the influence and driving, just being real irresponsible and real stupid. And I don't know like what the term was for me or what got me out of that, but something happened where it clicked. And luckily, like when I say God looks out for fools and babies, he really does, because I had never gotten a ticket, I've never gotten arrested, never got a DUI, none of those things. Like, I literally was protected the entire time I was acting a fool and not, you know, being responsible. So yeah, like when I say, like, I don't know what it is that caused that turn, but I'm glad that it happened, and I started getting responsible. I started cleaning up my credit. I started, you know, making sure that things were like just on the right path. Like, I was supposed to be doing the right things, right? So I would like make sure all my bills are paid, or whatever money I had, I'm going to pay my bills first, and then what I'm left with is what I'm gonna do extracurriculars with. And you know, I was like in my 30s when this happened, so it wasn't like something happened when I was young. I think I was like 30, 31, right? And I say that to say, like, I'm so like just proud of myself and where I've come, and like the discipline that it took for me to get here, right? So like, cleaning out my credit, I'm making payment arrangements, trying to pay off debts, and this money is gonna be money I can use to do other things I want to do, whether it's travel, whether it's go hang out, whether it's buy something. Like, all that had to go on the back burner because I was working on something greater, something bigger. But that's, of course, you know, me getting my credit and just, you know, being responsible, because people don't respect you. Like, you guys, I used to get great anxiety trying to buy a car, get approved for something. I would get anxiety because I knew my credit wasn't the best. And I'm sure some of you can relate that feeling. Like, am I gonna get approved? Like, please don't, like, please, am I gonna get approved? And I really hated feeling like that. And I remember on my credit cards, what was the turn on that was I was looking to, you know, reinstate my credit or get it back to a good place, and I had applied for a secure credit card. If you don't know what a secure credit card is, that's where you take your own money and use it as your credit limit, right? So I had $1,000, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you $1,000 so I can have a credit limit. And what they do is they report to the bureau, right? They report to the bureaus, let them know you're making on-time payments. You're literally like paying yourself back, right? So I had applied for a credit card, a secure one. What did I mean? When I said they told me no, they told me hell no. And I'm like, damn, I can't even use my own money? And so that, I know that as far as my credit, that's what was a turn. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I can't even get a secure credit card where I'm using my own money as my limit. So what I did was I put up my credit report, and if you want to get, you can get one free credit report a year. If you go to freeannualcreditreport.com, you go ahead, pull your credit, and you get that done for free once every year. So I pulled it, I saw all these things on there, and many of them were old, right? Like, we've all got those like credit ones, maybe had a Capital One back in the day, because they was giving anybody credit. And you know, they were on my credit that, of course, I spent the money, didn't pay, just because I felt like I don't have the money right now, I'll pay you when I pay you. Just like my mentality at the time was crazy. So anyway, so I pulled my credit report, and I found online you can do a settlement. You can look up settlement letter on Google, get a settlement letter, type it out, of course, fill in information for the person that or the creditor that you're sending it to, let them know. So like, let's say I had a credit card that was $1,000 in debt. At this point, it's a collection, so the creditor doesn't even have it anymore. It's with a third party. Someone else bought your contract for like $1, and they're gonna try to get you to pay. Well, the thing is, I was writing a settlement letter to say, hey, alright, sorry, all my battery had died. But anyway, a settlement letter, so you put the information, and it's like, hey, I know I owe you $1,000, but I'm willing to give you $300, and we can settle it in full. and they can either take it or they can leave it. So, and my mentality at the time was, because I mean, I'm still cleaning up my credit, it's gonna take some time. I'm like, either you're gonna take this offer or you're not gonna get anything, because I'm literally like 4 years into this, and of course after 7 years it's supposed to fall off, or you can send them a letter to drop it off your credit. So I was sending out letters. I probably had about 10 or 11 things on my credit that I need to get cleared up. I was sending out settlement letters here and there. Some were like, well, most of them were like, fine, we'll take it. And the thing is, if they are going to take it, you want them to have it say paid off in full instead of like settle for a lesser amount, right? Because they can do that as well. Because of course I paid less than what it was, but the company still won because it was settled, right? So you want to make sure that you settle it in full, and just a number of those things. And so as those are coming along, my credit starts to just jump up and improve. So I was just doing that, and of course I got on track, and you know, I am where I am today, sitting at almost 800. And I didn't go to none of those credit repair places because I don't trust it. I'm not gonna tell you to do some shit that I can find out how to do myself. Like who I'm gonna trust more than me? Not you. You know what I mean? So I did that and got my credit together, and like I hope that bitch lock and key now. Like if someone asked me to co-sign for them, and I was just like, I mean, I'd rather give you the money if you need help with a down payment, but I'm not co-signing for anyone. Like I'm hell no. Like it took me a while to get to where I am as far as my credit is concerned, and I'm not about to mess it up over somebody. Like no, not doing it. So I got my credit together. I've always worked customer service jobs, and I only made minimum wage when I was like 16. I've always made more than minimum wage at the jobs that I worked. And my last job, I love that job. I was there for like almost 6 years. It was such a good time, and it just didn't work out. And what's so funny is I remember right after that, I was like in a dark place. I'm like, oh my God, I made this much money. Like, how am I going to find a job that pays that much as well? Like, oh my God, I have all these bills, all these overheads. Like, it was blowing me. Well, anyway, long story short, of course, they sought me out, but the job that I'm at currently, I'm like damn near 6 figures at this place. Like, and like, it's crazy. And I'm just like, damn, I really be like, and I really feel like I'm a truly good person. Like, I ain't perfect, but I like sincerely, like deep down intentionally, I feel like I'm a really good person. And I really feel like I put out good intention, good energy, and I always feel like it reciprocates for the most part. I always feel like it's reciprocated. So when I got this job, and I'm just excelling in it, and I just love it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm here to stay. I'm glad that I'm here. Like, I'm just like so crazy that I am where I am today. Like, y'all don't even know the half. Like, I was a ghetto bitch. Like, I remember I deposited a check in my account, a check of mine, knowing that I have enough to clear it, but I still put it in there. Like, I was doing ghetto shit, and I'm just like happy that I'm like I said, I am responsible enough, and like I, make enough money to do things I like to do. Like, I'm traveling, as y'all know. I'm out. I'm doing things. Like, I'm at a concert right now. Like just always having money in my account. Like, I always have money in my account, and I'm not saying it's a gang of money, but it's never like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? I'm able to live the lifestyle where I'm not gonna say, oh my God, how am I gonna figure this out, right? Like, and I feel like that's what I was raised on. Like, damn, I'm gonna figure it out, but how am I gonna figure this out? Well, it's like I don't have to, because it's figured out. Like, the money is there, you know what I mean? And I'm just like so proud of myself. Like, I want to pat myself on the back just for being where I am. And I'm just like, I feel like a lot of people are at certain places and they feel like they shouldn't be where they need to be at this point in your life. And it's like, who's to say you're not where you're supposed to be right now? Like, it's not on your timing, it's on God's timing. And think about where you started, where you've come. Like, whether you're not where you want to be, you're closer to where you want to be. You know what I mean? And sometimes we're going to always have setbacks, because I've had a couple, but I've learned to kind of work through those and prevail. Like, I still am a work in progress, and I feel like I handle crisis well, or I handle things that, I can't control well. Like, I've learned to start accepting those type of things. And yeah, like, who gonna stop me? And I feel like I'm really a bad bitch out here. Now, like I said, I'm far from where I want to be. Like, I don't want to lose weight, because your girl getting plump as fuck, face giving round, hate it. But, I'm like, hey, I was way bigger than this at one point, and I'm here. And I feel like I'm in my it girl era. I feel like I'm in my feminine era. I find myself doing a lot of softer things that I normally didn't do. And it's just like, I gotta tell my friend, I'm telling her, like, she's like, hey, this is going on. I'm like, girl, like, let's count your blessings. Like, look at the glass half full and not half empty, right? Like, hey, you're not homeless, you're not this, you're not that, you're not sick, you're healthy. Like all these things that we don't even consider that we have, that are blessings that people don't even have, right? They may not even have a fraction of what we have, and we just be gracious and just be, you know what I'm saying, happy and blessed that we are where we are. Now, like I said, I'm still a work in progress. I feel like I'm a constantly be a work in progress, and that's okay. You know, I do feel like I have my life together, and that's what I'm proud of, right? Being like a product of a single parent. I mean, I didn't grow up in the hood, but we was adjacent. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. We was adjacent to the hood. And, you know, but just those things, and not being taught certain things and just finding out later in life, and that's okay too, right? Like I said, our timing is not gonna be when we want it to be. It's going to be God's timing, and timing, of course, is going to happen when it's supposed to, not when we want it to. So, yeah, I just, you know, I love that for me. And for those of you, hey, today is the 19th of May. Some people didn't make it to today. They didn't make it past yesterday. You know what I mean? So we just have to learn to just be gracious and just show gratitude for the things that we do have, as opposed to looking at the things that we don't. And yeah, I want to just chit chat with you niggas for a minute. Just because, like I said, I've been feeling really good. I just been feeling really like, I don't know, just something just kind of compelled me like to just share and just be like, hey, you know, be encouraging, just be a vessel and just be someone that's not looking at the negative and look at the positive. And keep in mind, I'm not one of them fake positive gurus. Like, if you got a bad day, you have a bad day. And sometimes we're going to have bad days, right? But the days that we control, we can make them good days. Like, I'm learning to turn those around and not just keep continuing to have a bad day, you know? Like, I hate people who are just like, oh, I'm just so positive all the time. Okay, because you're a lie. Because even the most positive person has bad days. You feel me? Like, and that's just what it is. But anyway, I wanted to share that with y'all. You know I love y'all. And of course, I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye. Shit.